Welcome you all in the third lecture. So from the previous lecture, we already know what is sensor, what is actuator, and what is transducer. So in this lecture, we will see more on sensor. So this is your first slide. In first slide, we already know what is transducer, what is sensor and actuator. We need to see this figure in this slide. You know, first first part is your real world sensor actuator intelligent feedback. So what this figure shows, actually you are giving signal from your real world to the sensor, and this sensor give that particular signal to your some intelligent feedback system, and this intelligent feedback system will do some operation, and based on that operation it will give your signal to the actuator, and then actuator will finally work and give some function, give some signal in the form of working function to your real world. So basically what we have seen, we are giving a signal to the sensor, it's giving a signal to the intelligent feedback system, again it is giving signal to the actuator, and finally we are getting output in the real world only. Okay, next is your sensor systems. Okay, when we are talking about sensor, we always think about electronic sensor, right? There is mechanical sensor also, there are other type of sensor also, but generally we are talking about electronic sensor only. So basically your electronic sensor include two types. Generally we are talking about two types, like first one is your primary transducer, second one is your secondary transducer, right? So what is primary transducer? Primary transducer will use the parameter from your real world, like your heat. Your secondary transducer will use your parameter like electrical signal, and then it will convert that electrical signal into your analog or digital values. So here you'll see typical electronic sensor system. What it shows, your sensor will take some input or parameter, and then it will convert into your sensor data, analog or digital signal, and that signal will be the input of your microcontroller, and then microcontroller will give your output to your computer or some display unit. So here now we need to connect this sensor to your digital world or your some digital display. So between these two, between this sensor and your digital system, you need microcontroller to connect your sensor with your display. So what is microcontroller? Basically your microcontroller is the controller unit. It will contain microprocessor, input output devices, or it will contain your CPU, and this type of component it will contain to control your system. So you require to have microcontroller to connect your sensor with your computer. Next is your example of electronic sensor systems. So first you can see digital sensor with an instrument, right? See, in instrument, what I have told, that we need microcontroller to connect your sensor with your display. So in an instrument, it should have microcontroller to convert your output of your uh, analog sensor to your to the digital input of your display. Analog sensor, you can see, again, to connect your sensor to PC you need some A to D type of sensor interface. So multiple sensor displayed over internet, if you see in a wide range, you can see multiple sensor is there to connect your computer to your particular sensor. Okay, so next is your primary transducer. Okay, so what is primary transducer? We have already seen it will have some input from your real world like heat, pressure or your temperature. So we are using some conventional transducer like thermocouple and compass. We are using some microelectronic sensors. What is microelectronic sensor? It will have size in your millimeter range and it will be very sensitive, right? So these are some example of your microelectronic sensor, and it is the input to the corresponding microelectronic sensors. Okay, so next is your example of primary transducer. So these are the primary transducer. First, you can see light sensor. What happens in light sensor? When you apply light, it will change your corresponding resistance. In photodiode, what happens? When you apply light, it will change your corresponding current. Membrane pressure sensor. This is also a primary transducer. What happened when you apply pressure on your system? It will convert the resistance and your capacitor capacitor corresponding to your pressure. Next is your displacement measurements. So you can measure your size, shape and position using your displacement sensor, right? Using your displacement sensor. Example was you can measure your diameter and you can measure your any position if there is change occur. These are your primary transistor types: resistive sensor, inductive sensor, capacitive sensors, piezoelectric sensors. These are your secondary transducers, Wheatstone's bridge, and your amplifier. Okay, next is your strain gauge. So this is your gauge factor. Gauge factor, we basically use this gauge factor to determine your displacement. Right, so how we will calculate this gauge factor? We are having this equation, we can call this first equation. We are having this equation from the Poisson's ratio, so we call this second equation. We will put this second equation in your first equation. By putting the second equation in your first equation, we will get this third equation, right? So on the third equation, if you divide this third equation with delta L by L, you will get your gauge factor. And gauge factor is what? Gauge factor, we use this factor to analyze your displacement that will occur in your resistance and that will occur in your length. So now this is your temperature sensor options. First one is your resistance temperature detectors. And this is the example of resistance temperature detectors. And this will be positive temperature coefficient. Second is your thermistor. This is your example of your thermistor, and it will be negative temperature coefficient. What is positive temperature coefficient? Positive temperature coefficient means when you increase your temperature, your resistance will increase. Negative temperature coefficient means when you increase your temperature, your resistance will decrease. So these are some features. Thermocouples you already know. When you applied temperature at the junction of metal 1 and metal 2, you will get some temperature difference at this terminal, and due to this temperature difference you will get some voltage output. And you know, when you will get voltage output, then if you connect some resistor across this, you will get current also. So this is how thermocouple sense your temperature and convert this into your voltage output, and this voltage output is finally get converted into your current. And this process is also called Seebeck effect. So basically thermocouples process happens just because of this Seebeck effect. These are some parameters. This table shows some parameters comparison between your thermocouples. RTD is your resistance temperature detector, and your IC. What is IC? IC is your integrated circuit sensor. What is integrated circuit sensor? It is your temperature sensor. Actually, IC temperature is related to your thermistor. Thermistor is, you can say thermistor is the old version of your IC sensor. Okay, so these are some comparison of these parameters for your thermocouples, RTD, and your IC sensor. Next is your fiber optic temperature sensor. What is this? This is also sensor operation, a small prism shaped sample of a single crystal undoped GAS attached to the end of the two optical fibers. Light energy observed by the GAS crystal depends on temperature. Percentage of received and transmitted energy is a function of temperature. Right. So whatever you have applied and you have received, and it is get observed by this sensor, right? So this is how it sense your temperature. Next is your example of MEMS. What is MEMS? MEMS is a micro electromechanical system, miniaturized transducers created using IC fabrication process. Right. So we are creating MEMS by having some steps of your high C fabrication process. So these are some examples of your MEMS transducers. Micro accelerometer, cantilever beam is there, suspended mass is there, rotation. For rotation, it is gyroscope. What is gyroscope? When you apply pressure, there's some rotation in your gyroscope pressure. So how you will convert this pressure into electric into electrical signal, right? When you apply pressure on this diaphragm, when you apply this pressure on diaphragm, this pressure, there will be movement in the diaphragm, and that movement will get converted into your electrical signal. Okay. Passive sensor readout circuit. So for the passive sensor, resistor, inductor, and capacitor is your passive sensor. So you can see in photodiode, resistance is used, and when light fall on this diode, there will be change in your voltage across this resistance. For thermistor, half bridge, it will act as a voltage divider also. When temperature increase for this RT, there will be change in your V output. So this is the basic of thermistor. With Stone bridge, we already know there will be four resistance, and you have to find out fourth one, resistance. Next is your operational amplifier. So basically, what is operational amplifier, right? So this is a symbol. This is a symbol. So we use operational amplifier to have operational to have some operation of the input, and to get convert our input get convert our input into the some amplified form. Suppose we are having some input at the negative terminal, then we should have inverted output at the output terminal. If we are having input at the positive terminal of the op-amp, we will have non-inverted output at the output. We will have non-inverted output, but that will be amplified one. So these are some properties of your op-amp. First one, open loop gain. Input impedance should be infinite. Output impedance should be zero. Zero output offset. Gain bandwidth product should be having some constant value. Okay, this is the commercial op-amps provide many different properties. Like it should have, generally these are the properties of your op-amp. First one is low noise, and then low input current, low power, high bandwidth, supply voltage. It depends on the condition. Special purpose is comparator and instrumentation amplifier. This is your basic op-amp configuration. uh, this is for comparator. This is for voltage follower. Follower means whatever is there at the input, it will come as a output at the output terminal. This is a non-inverting amplifier, as I have told you already. At the positive side, if there is the input at the positive side, it will be called as non-inverting. If your input at the negative terminal, it will called as inverting amplifier. You can see the output. You can see the output for the inverting and non-inverting amplifier. So 1 plus by 2, it is the gain for your non-inverting amplifier. R2 by R1, it is the gain for your inverting amplifier. Next is more op-amp configuration. This is your summing amplifier. This is your differential amplifier. This is your integrating amplifier. This is your differentiating amplifier. This is your current to voltage, and second one is your voltage to current. Instrumentation amplifier. Now, what is instrumentation amplifier? So if you are having two input, there will be probability to having two types of output. First one is V1 minus V2. Second one is V1 plus V2. In the instrumentation amplifier, V1 minus V2 is the desirable output. And so we need to suppress V1 plus V2. So now see, input stage, high input impedance, no common mode gain. No common mode gain means what? We should not have V1 plus V2 output, V2 as a output. Can have differential gain, means V1 minus V2 should be the output. Gain stage, differential gain, as I have told you already, low input impedance should be there. Overall amplifier amplifies the differential component only. High common mode rejection ratio. Again, common mode rejection ratio means it will reject your V1 plus V2 V2 output. High input impedance suitable for the bipotential electrodes with high output impedance. Okay, next, this is your basic instrumentation amplifier. This part is for your instrumentation amplifier. This is your high pass filter. This is your non-inverting amplifier. So this part is your basically instrumentation amplifier. Which type of application you have, which type of application you have, whatever is the application, these two, HPF and non-inverting amplifier, these are optional. It depends on the which type of application you are using. So this is the basic instrumentation amplifier in which you are getting differential or different form or difference between input of your input, the difference between input as a output. As the output, you will get difference of your input. Okay, connecting sensor to microcontroller. So again, microcontroller is used to connect your sensor to your PC, your personal computer, right? How it will convert? It will have some A to D to convert your analog signal to digital signal. So for digital, there will be serial input output. Use serial output store in memory to analyze. There will be synchronous. Synchronous means with clock must have byte format, stop and start with priority check, etc. Asynchronous, no clock, more common for communication than data. Must match baud rate, bit width, and transmission protocol, etc. Frequency encoded, use timing port, measure pulse width or pulse frequency. Okay, frequency encoded means what? If means you are having some remote, right, and you are pressing some key, that particular key, that particular key mm, assigned has some assigned value of frequency, right? So your microcontroller should have some encoder to encode that particular frequency. So for frequency encoded, it will have your timing port, measure pulse width or your pulse frequency. Next is your connecting smart sensors to your PC or network. What is a smart sensor? A smart sensor means it will now include your microcontroller also. A smart sensor is not doing work of detection. It will now control your system also. So that is your smart sensor. It is not dumb at all now. Data acquisition cards, what it will do, it will take your analog system, it will take your analog signal, and it will convert that analog signal into sample, and that sample again converted into digital form, 0 1 1 0, right? So your data acquisition card will convert your analog signal into your digital one. Communication link, common for sensors. So these are some port, actually these are some port or bus, you can say, we use for the communication link. First one is your asynchronous serial. For asynchronous serial we use UART. It will have one receive line, one transmit line, some baud rate it will have, and the protocol. Synchronous serial, it will synchronous means again it will have some clock values. So what it will have? It will have one clock, one bidirectional data, one chip select or enable. I2C, inter-integrated circuit bus, designed by Philips for communication inside TVs. Means it will I2C basically used for the bigger purpose. It will have multiple input and multiple output, whereas SPI will have we will use SPI for the small application purpose, because it is having one input and very small range of output also. Like it will have two or three outputs, and maximum it will have four or five output. Okay, so at last, this is your sensor communication standard, that is IEEE P1541. So this is also working as your protocol system. Sensor calibration. So what is it? Sensor calibration. Why we need this calibration? Calibration means what? If you are not having desired output, then we need to calibrate it. We need to do some compensation work to get desired output. That is your calibration only. So sensor can exhibit non-idealities, right? Sensor can have some non-idealities in their nature, like offset value. Offset value is what? Again, nominal not is output is not is equal to nominal parameter value. Whatever, but you are not getting the desired value as a output. You are getting something else. That is your offset value. Non-linearity, again, you are changing your parameter, and corresponding to that parameter you are not getting desired output, right? So that is your non-linearity. Cross parameter sensitivity means what? Now your temperature sensor, now your temperature sensor output are coming, are affected, are getting affected by other by other parameter also apart from your temperature. So that is your cross parameter sensitivity. What we are doing in calibration? We are adjusting output to match our parameter. First one is analog signal conditioning. See, we need to see when we are taking sample, we need to see, is there something wrong in the analog signal conditioning system? If it is right, then you will get perfect output. So if you're having some problem at the output, we need to see analog signal conditioning system. Second is your lookup table. What is lookup table? Lookup table means you are matching your output with your standard one, and with the help of your lookup table you are getting some deviation. You are getting some deviation. So with the help of these deviation, you can you can have your desired output, whether it is positive or whether it is negative. Means what you are doing, you are having some standard value according to your system, and now you are measuring your value and your practical value, whatever is coming, that is deviating from your reference value, whether it is plus or minus value it's having. So that deviation you need to add, or subtract in your final data. Digital calibration. So in digital calibration, you will have some formula, and by using that formula, you'll get the corrected value. Same as compensation. If you're having some secondary sensitivity, you're getting output variation due to some secondary sensitivity, you can remove that. You can remove that sensor if you can do this. For second one, it must have sensitivity characterized. You need to check your system. Your system should be sensitive for the particular parameter only, not for the other. So you need to check this sensitivity character. So again, there is formula to remove your error, to remove your error. So this is compensation technique. And here you can see, if this is your, let us suppose, if for even this is your, if this is for this tool, for this tool, if this is your original line, original output, and you are getting this one, but when you are taking sample, practical sample, you are getting this graph, but you should get this one. What does it mean? You are having non-linear property is there in your sensor. Okay, so these are some more points for sensor. It included parameters. Also its parameters is also important to understand.